Have you ever read scripture and come across verses which seem to contradict what you have believed all your life? Perhaps you've read Isaiah 42:8 and asked, I wonder why this verse uses the title, the Lord, instead of an actual name. Or maybe you came across Romans 3:31 and thought, this verse seems to allude to upholding the law somehow. It could be that when reading the 10 Commandments, you noticed in Exodus 20 verse 10 that it mentions the seventh day being the Sabbath and wondered when and why it changed. I too came across these and many other verses, which led me to ask, why does it appear as if many things taught and preached today actually contradict Scripture? I knew that doctrinal or scriptural confusion has to be man's doing, because 1 Corinthians 14:33 tells us clearly, For Elohim is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Desiring wisdom and understanding through earnest prayer, I asked the Father to reveal His truth to me. Psalm 119:160 tells us, The entirety of your word is truth, and every one of your righteous judgments endures forever. And James 1:5 explains, If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask Elohim, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. He began revealing things in His word which I had never seen before. The bias and blinders I had read Scripture through all my life were removed, and verses like 2 Timothy 3:26 had new meaning. It reads, All Scripture is given by inspiration of Elohim, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. You see, at the time when Paul wrote this letter, Scripture mentioned here was Genesis to Malachi. So I began to read and consider all Scripture in its entirety. I no longer read it with my preconceived biases or through the lens derived from doctrines of men, but with open eyes and an open heart, ready to receive it as He had intended. In fact, Scripture warns us to beware of man's doctrines, traditions, and philosophy. In Matthew 15:9, our Messiah quotes Isaiah 29:13, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And Paul in Colossians 2:8 warns us to beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Messiah. He also gives warning in 2 Timothy 4:3, which says, For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. And Hosea 4:6 stresses the dangers of not seeking out His knowledge and truth. It says, My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I reject you from being a priest to me. And since you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, I also will forget your children. In this new series, we'll examine verses, doctrines, and traditions which are commonplace today, comparing their alignment with Scripture. And this is of utmost importance. For you see, what we believe impacts who we follow and directs how we live our lives. Which are you following, truth or tradition?